What does that even mean, Bowers game?
Hi there, YouTube. We're back again today for another game review, and today we're very excited to check out My First Stone Age from Z-Man Games. This is for 2 to 4 players. Age is 5 plus. It'll take you about 15 minutes to play. And what are you going to be doing in My First Stone Age, Sean?
Getting all 3 huts.
You're trying to build 3 huts, and the way you're going to be doing this is you're going to be collecting all sorts of goods and resources like berries and mammoth tusks and fish and all sorts of cool stuff like that. There's a memory aspect though too, isn't there? Because you're going to be flipping over different tiles and trying to remember which tile is which, right?
But and then if you have to go to the training post, you wish what you want to trade for.
Yep, there's even a trading post. It tries to recreate Stone Age, but for the little one. Does it succeed? Let's open it up, and we'll tell you what we think about it. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of My First Stone Age. First and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule booklet, 8 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It is very well done. It teaches you how you play and have you up and running in no time at all. Also, the first 2 pages are just backstory on the game and a little story you can tell the kids about what they're doing in the game. Big thumbs up on the rule booklet. So in My First Stone Age, what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to build 3 of these huts here. And if you're the first person to build 3 huts, you're going to win the game. The way you build the huts is by collecting the different resources. So to build this hut, you're going to need 2 fish. This hut would be a pot, a fish, a berry, so on and so forth. You're going to collect these goods by going to different spots on the map and then collecting the goods. So for instance, if you were at the berry spot, you would get 1 berry and you're going to hide it, quote unquote, even though we normally didn't hide it, underneath your little thing right here. Now this thing is designed to hold your 3 huts. And it's a very, very cool looking. So once you've built 3 of those, you win the game. How do you move around the board, you may be asking? Well, you're going to be flipping all these green tiles around the outside. So we'll go over the components a little bit, then we'll get into the gameplay. So component-wise, we got our board, and you're going to have the dog right here. The dog is a wild for all intents and purposes, so he can get you anything you want. You're going to have your little mammoth tusks right there, berries, clay pots, arrowheads, fish. And then the last spot is the trading post. And the trading post is pretty simple. If you go there, you can trade as many or as few of your goods for as many as goods as there are here. So if you want to, say, for instance, trade this berry for this stone head or this arrowhead, you could do that. If you had a berry and a pot, you could trade those for a fish and a berry. You can trade, pretty much you can trade 1-to-1 as many times as you want while you are there, as long as the goods are there to do so. So this will constantly be in flux, which is very interesting, especially in a children's game. The last spot left on the board is the middle spot right here, which is where you're going to be able to build your huts, because as I mentioned, that is how you win the game. So if you land right here, you're going to flip over all these green tiles so that the green is face up, and then you build 1 hut if you can. You can only build 1 at a time. So let's go run you through the gameplay, and you'll quickly learn how this goes. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to flip over one of these tiles. So let's flip over. That's a really bad one to flip over first. Here we go. We'll flip over this one first, which is going to move us 3 spaces. So we're blue because we got this little blue thing right here to help us remember what color we are. We would go 1, 2, 3, and we would get to collect a berry, which luckily we already did. So we would have a berry. Hooray. We'll just set it right here. So the next player would go, and they might flip over this. So the yellow person is going to go all the way to the pot because she flipped over the pot, and now she has a pot in front of her. Pink would go, let's just see, they would go to the fishing area. They would get a fish, and then it's back to my turn, so I might flip over this one. Now, let's see. The 6, so let's go 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a dog. That's fantastic. Now, the dog is a little bit different from everything else. So let's just say you went to the fishing hole and there was no fish. Well, that's unfortunate for you. You don't get any fish. However, the dog is different. The dog is a wild, and people can steal your dog. So if you go to the dog place and there's no dogs, then you get to take someone else's dog. You go, that's what I make the kids do. I make them try and whistle, and the dog comes to them. But anywho, once you've collected enough resources, let's just say I got this fish right here too, you try to get to the middle spot right here. You can either do that by numbers, which is going to be very difficult sometimes, or by flipping over the house. So if it's your turn, you might flip over the house. So you would go to the house. First thing you do is you're going to flip over all the tiles back to green, and hopefully other people are remembering where the things is. So there is a memory aspect here. And then you can turn in your goods to build one house. So for instance, we have a dog, we have a berry, and we have a fish. So we could build this one right here. We could actually build all three of them. Now the smart one obviously would be to turn in our one fish, turn in our dog, and build this one because it is the cheapest and we still have a berry. And bada boom, we are 1/3 of the way to winning the game. Anywho, you're going to rinse, wash, and repeat until someone has built 3 huts, at which point they will be the winner of my first Stone Age. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alright then, my first Stone Age from Z-Man Games. What are our final thoughts? Let's go to the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a couple different reasons. 2 to 4 players, very restricted player count. Also, I would say kids are going to outgrow this game, no doubt about it. A lot of dexterity games and stuff like that, kids can play for a very long time. This one, my son's 3.5, he plays it. I've played it with a couple 3-year-olds in my classroom. I don't think I would try and play it with any kids over the age of, say, maybe 7, just because it's just a little bit too simplistic for kids that age. So it definitely is going to have a narrow window of, I would say, about ages 3 to ages 7. Another comment I have with this game is more on the parental side, that on the parental side, you're not going to have nearly as much fun as your little ones are going to have. And it's one of those games where you were kind of going to have to throw the game in order to, you know what I'm saying there. Any other cons I have with it? Do you have anything about the game you don't like, Sean? Nothing?
Nope.
I was going to say, moving on to the pros, my first Stone Age. Sean, you love this game, don't you? Why do you like this game so much?
Cause I like, I like flipping over the things.
He likes flipping over things. He likes the memory aspect. You got to try and remember where the important stuff is, don't you? What about the components? What about the pieces? The pieces are really nice, aren't they?
Yep.
There's berries and wooden teeth, and there's the dog that comes in as the wild. But moving on to it from an adult perspective. Yes, kids are going to have a lot of fun with this game, I'd say from ages 3 to 7 years old. But moving on it to an adult perspective, adults are really going to like this game as well because it teaches mechanisms that you want your kids to learn for future games. I see this as a stepping stone to bigger and better games in the future. And if you're a gaming parent, then obviously you want to play bigger and better games with your kids. And I think My First Stone Age is a great first step to doing that. Because, yes, you have the memory aspect where you're trying to remember where things are, but you're also thinking very strategically as you try to get to various different spots to accomplish different tasks. You also have the trading post, so you're going to be trading things. You can trade 2 berries for a fish or a stonehead. Why would you trade those, Sean? Do you remember why you trade?
Cause you have to turn in your stuff.
You have to turn in your stuff to build your house. You have to collect resources to build things! My first Euro game. Sorry, that just gets me all excited. But yes, My First Stone Age, parents' perspective, yeah, you're going to be a little bit... But kids' perspective, they enjoy the game, and it teaches a lot of those early, valuable gamery skills that you're going to want your kids to know in the future. It's got really nice artwork, really nice components, well done rule booklet, and kids have a lot of fun with it. So that's My First Stone Age from Z-Man Games. One I absolutely can recommend if you have kids ages 3 to 7. Can you recommend this game, Sean?
Yeah.
Boom. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. In the comments below, let me know what's your favorite type of berry. What's your favorite berry, Sean?
Blueberry?
Blueberries. For me personally, I like blackberries. I think blackberries are my favorite types of berry. What are your favorite type of berries? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. You did great, buddy.
Now let's do the Chewbacca one.
Okie dokie.